I think hacking gets a pretty bad rap. Malware, identity theft. You do a Google image search for the word hacking, and it looks like the Matrix, this dystopian future. And maybe the public perception of hacking is a little screwed up because we have things like hacktivists who do things that are illegal, but people maybe don't understand the high ethical ideas behind those illegal acts. And I'm pretty sure people don't really understand the kind of flip side of that and why hacktivists exists, like patent trolls, people who do things that are perfectly legal but highly unethical because they profit from stopping innovation. And in all of this kind of back and forth of hacking, I wondered, where's the hacking ethic in all of this? If you think back 30 years ago, the idea wasn't about computers necessarily, but the ethic that one would take things apart to discover what makes the world work, and then to improve upon that world and then share it for other people. And I think that hacking ethic needs to kind of be talked about again. And to do that, I'm going to take a trip back in time to the year 1600. That's a time where I think hacking ethic can really be highlighted. So Galileo did not invent the telescope. He built one based on a description that he read in some small diplomatic communique. And he used it to look at the heavens and doing these kind of amazing images of the moon and sharing them with people in images that no one had ever seen before. He also saw sunspots for the first time. And you have to wonder, wait, how did he actually look at the sun with a telescope 400 years ago this month? Well, he and his colleagues basically turned their own device and hacked it to become sort of a telescope into a projector. So they made a helioscope. So you put the projector, and in a darkened room, the sun comes through the telescope onto your white piece of paper, and you trace what you see. So they actually were able to kind of hack their device into something else. Tycho Brahe spent 20 years building this astronomical data set, and it wasn't until he gave it to his protege Kepler where he was able to produce and publish the Rudolphine tables and develop the laws of motion. Kepler's also hacking other things. He's literally taking an eyeball, cutting it apart, figuring it out, and saying, wait a minute, this looks a lot like a camera obscura, which we've seen before. And he develops the retinal theory of vision from literally taking apart the eye. And at the same time, you have things like Caravaggio, who is taking a concave mirror and hacking that into something totally different, which is a projection device to allow him to paint. And so the chiaroscuro isn't a style, it's a process from this kind of repurposing. Anamorphosis itself, a kind of perspectival hacking, a way that you rework the vision system developed in the Renaissance, was known for quite a while but kept secret. And it wasn't until Jean-François Niceron in the 1600s, early 1600s, published his massive tome on perspective and anamorphosis that he not only shows you the geometry of how to do it, but he actually depicts in vivid detail how he did some of his most famous anamorphic images. When Mercator produced his cylindrical projection, it changed navigation forever. But he wanted to profit from his invention, so he didn't explain how it was done. Enter Edward Wright, who in 1599 reverse engineered Mercator's map and found certain errors in it. So he published a book called Certain Errors in Navigation. He produced a new map, and he did produce the tables, and more importantly, he produced this planisphere. And the planisphere allowed everyone who got the book to take this odd concept of taking a globe and projecting onto a cylinder and making it easier for everyone to do it. So Edward Wright is imploring us, hey, I hacked Mercator, take my hack and do something better with it. And I think that what I'm suggesting here is that the hacking ethic in 1600 led to nothing less than the great scientific revolution in the later 1600s. So Bacon, Descartes, Newton, Hooke, they are sitting on the shoulders of this hacking ethic in the 1600s. And if you think about exactly where 1600 sits, it's this singular moment of genius in the Renaissance, of discovery, and the transition of the hacking ethic into nothing less than the greatest scientific development in humankind, which is the invention of science itself. That moment, I think we're finding right now, right? We're kind of in this moment where this renaissance of technology is leading us to this great moment. Lots of hackers in the room here. But I worry that there isn't enough openness in that hacking ethic to lead to a revolution that we don't know yet. Because without this stuff, we'll never get to this revolution. And by the way, this thing is all for you to share and remix as you will. Thanks.